Good day and welcome to the UFC on Fox Shogun vs. Vera conference call. Today's conference is being recorded. At this time, for opening remarks and introductions, I would like to turn the conference over to Mr. Ant Evans. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the UFC on Fox conference call. The fourth UFC on Fox takes place this Saturday at the Staples Center in LA. We've got 4 exciting fights which we broadcast on Fox from 8 in the East and 5 p.m. the West, with a full undercard on Fuel TV. On the main card, we're going to have top welterweight contender Mike Swift returning for the first time in a couple of years, takes on DeMarcus Johnson. We've got 2 top lightweights colliding when Joe Lauzon takes on former WEC champ Jamie Varner. In the co-main, we've got Lyoto the Dragon Machida, a former world champion, taking on former NCAA Division I wrestler and tough winner Ryan Bader. And then in the 5-round main event, we've got one of the best of all time on free TV, as Shogun Rua throws down with a very confident Brandon Vera. All 4 light heavyweights are on the call right now. Shogun's going to be translated by Julio Heller, and when needed, Lyoto will be translated by Derek Lee. Now I'd like to turn the call over to UFC President Dana White.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to call in today. Let's get the show started. Who's got the first question?
If you'd like to ask a question, please signal by pressing the star key, followed by the digit 1 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Once again, please press star 1 to ask a question. We'll pause a moment to allow everyone an opportunity to signal. We'll take our first question from Ariel Helwani from MMAfighting.com.
Hey, guys. Thanks for doing the call today. I wanted to ask Dana a question. Can you clear something up for us, Dana? A lot of buzz last week when that article came out on FoxSports.com about what's at stake in this main event. Is it true that the winner will really get a shot at John Jones?
Yes.
That's it?
That's it.
Even though John Jones has beaten both guys?
Yeah. Well, Shogun Rua just came off the fight of the year last year, and he's probably one of the greatest fighters in the last decade. Think about it. If you think about the list of guys, this guy knocked out Rampage, knocked out Chuck Liddell, knocked out Mark Coleman, knocked out Lyoto Machida, knocked out Forrest Griffin, knocked out Alistair Overeem twice, submitted Kevin Randleman. A win puts this guy right back in position, and he's probably the number 2 guy in the world.
And then I'll ask Brandon Vera the follow-up. Brandon, you obviously had that tough loss to Jones on Versus a couple of years ago, but you've always talked about wanting to get a second shot at him and just not feeling like yourself and not liking your performance in that fight. Does that almost put more pressure on you knowing that this is a possibility, or does that even make you want to perform even better on Saturday night?
Ariel, this is, like I said before, this is already a blessing in disguise, and by Dana throwing that out there, man, this is almost like winning the lottery twice.
Okay, and I just wanted to ask Shogun Rua a question, and then I'll get off the line. For Shogun, obviously you're coming off a very great fight against Dan Henderson. We haven't seen you for a long time. For those that haven't talked to you, can you just explain what happened last month with the Glover Teixeira fight and why you didn't want to take that fight and why you like this fight against Brandon Vera more?
Que você falou no último mês aí dessa luta do Brandon Vera, ele falou de novo, né? Por que você não quis lutar assim com o Brandon Vera?
O Brandon Vera é um cara conhecido no UFC no mundo e o Glover não. Então, eu e minha equipe não acho muito interessante o Glover no momento, com todo respeito a ele, mas ele não é um cara hoje conhecido no UFC. E o Brandon Vera é um cara que todo mundo conhece ele.
Brandon Vera is a guy that's very well known in the MMA business, especially the UFC. Has a strong name in the business, and Glover has still a long road ahead to run. So right now the best option is a guy that's well ranked and more known is Brandon Vera, the choice.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Adam Martin with The Score.
Hey, Dana, how are you? You got Mike Swick coming back. He hasn't fought in about over 2 years now. What are you expecting from Mike, and are you excited to see him back in the cage?
I am. I like Mike Swick personally and as a fighter. And, the guy's, he's a great fighter. He's 14-4, one of the originals from The Ultimate Fighter. And, we've started to joke around and call him Mr. Glass around the office. I mean, the guy's had a real tough stint with injuries before we even started getting plagued with injuries. Swick was getting injured all the time. But it's good to see him back. I love the kid, and I'm pumped.
As far as the title shot goes, if the winner of Shogun and Vera doesn't look that impressive in victory, yet the winner of Machida versus Bader looks very impressive, could they possibly jump ahead in the queue and get the next title shot?
Well, no, I already announced that the winner of Vera and Rua get the shot. You know what I mean? Of course, I hope that all the fights are exciting that night. But you're dead on when you say, when we do look at guys who we would like to see get a shot at the title, we like impressive finishes. We like guys to finish. But if you look at Shogun's last fight, his last fight with Dan Henderson was one of the sickest fights I've ever seen in my life.
Speaking of guys who'd like to finish, you got a great lightweight fight, or second on the card. You got Jamie Varner against Joe Lozon. What are you expecting from those two guys, and is that another fight you're really excited for?
Yeah, Varner came out and looked amazing in his last fight, upsetting Barboza. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. And Joe Lozon is always exciting. He came out and did the same thing to Melvin Gillard. This should be a fun fight.
Just one more question for Brandon Vera. Brandon, there's a lot of critics on the internet saying that you don't deserve this main event slot, that you don't deserve a title shot. How do you respond to these critics?
Make sure to watch me on August 4th.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, and you know what, brother? It's all about opportunities. Brandon is a guy who burst onto the scene. Was gonna be a 205-pound champion, a heavyweight champion. Was running through guys left and right, and then. I don't know what happened, but it's about opportunities. He accepted this opportunity to fight one of the greatest fighters of this decade, and we'll see what he does with it.
Thanks, Dana. Have a good one.
Yep.
We'll take our next question from Heidi Fang with MMA Fight Corner.
Hi, my first question is for Dana. The road to the octagon that we saw last night, is that something that we're going to be able to see for every Fox card?
Yeah, it's something that we put together with Eric Shanks from Fox, and yeah, we love it. We're going to be doing more of that. We got a lot of good things coming with this Fox relationship over the next 6 months. The first 6 to 7 months has been a feeling out period and figuring out how to really work together and how to get things clicking with UFC and Fox. And we've come up with a lot of great ideas that we're going to be implementing throughout the rest of this year.
And also, this is a kind of a unique way to determine the number one contender. Is this a process that you're going to be using for more fights in the future?
For Fox, yeah. Guys who fight on Fox are guys who are, who are in line for world title shots, and the top ranked guys. I mean, you got Shogun, you got Vera. I mean, 20-6, 12-5. Lyoto Machida 17-3. Bader 15-2. I mean, these are the top four. Light heavyweights in the world. That's what you're going to see on Fox.
Great. My next question is for Ryan Bader. What do you think is the toughest thing about figuring out Machida? Is it his unpredictability, or is it his precise countering and striking?
Yeah, he's brings a lot of problems to the table that you don't see usually in a lot of fights. So you're not used to seeing that in the gym. So you got to seek out training partners that have a little bit of that. And you have to see it in the gym, and if you don't, you're going to be surprised there in the octagon. So that's the biggest thing, in the training camp is finding those guys. But I think he does a great job as far as being elusive and then striking, when he needs to, and when the opponent is not expecting it. So the biggest puzzle is really seeing it in the gym.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Joanna Shore with Fight Zone TV Fox Sports Net.
Hi there. Just a question for Brandon Vera. What is your mindset going into this fight against Shogun, and how has your training been leading up to the fight?
My mindset preparing for Shogun has been amazing. It's Man, it's been, like Dana said earlier, it's the opportunity of a lifetime, you know. You only get this call once, man. You only get this call once, and it's been a godsend. Training's been great. My team's been great. Everybody here at Alliance has been awesome. Coaches and training partners from all across the globe have been flying in to come help me train for Shogun. I was already getting in shape for Kahuna for the San Jose card, so I got a jump start on camp before I found out I was going to be fighting Shogun, and it's just been good. It's been amazing.
Hey, just a follow-up question. Dana, is there any pressure going into this card considering how the Calgary card played out the other week?
Yeah, there's always pressure, man. There's always pressure. I always feel that way going into every card. You know, even when we were running that streak of we had 16 amazing shows in a row. Then I had the pressure to keep the streak going, and yeah, I always feel that way. Every time people, especially when people make the choice to stay home on a Saturday night, whether they're paying for it or not, they're investing their time to stay home on a Saturday night with our busy lives and all the other things there are to do. I don't ever want people turning the television off after watching, you know, the UFC and saying, I wish I didn't stay home tonight. So, yeah, absolutely I feel the pressure. But it's one of those things that I can't control. The guys that are on this phone and the rest of the card are the guys that have to step up and deliver that night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Jeffrey Harris at 411mania.com MMA.
Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for coming back to Los Angeles and the Staples Center. This is a great card, great group of names to bring the UFC back here with, so thank you very much. For Brandon Vera, Brandon, before you've talked a lot about goals and winning 2 UFC titles in 2 weight classes, so how does it feel? I mean, a year ago you were almost out of the UFC. Now you're back. You got this huge opportunity to become a top contender. And how does that make you feel right now that you could finally get that golden opportunity?
Brother, it feels like all the ups and downs that I've been through in my career, all the things that's happened in life, it feels like it's all been okay so far. This opportunity makes all the good, all the bad, and all the ugly that has happened so far in my career and throughout life okay, if that makes any sense, man. This opportunity right here, this thing that's been given to me, it's a dream come true, brother, and it makes everything okay. I'm taking full advantage of it, man. From training to nutrition to everything, I've never felt this good in my life, man. I've never been so confident, so sure ever in my life.
All right, thank you. And for Lyoto Machida, Lyoto, you are 1-3 in your last 4. So how are you feeling pressure-wise going into this fight with Ryan Bader? You both have common opponents. You've beaten Tito Ortiz. He's lost to Tito Ortiz. You lost in a close fight to Rampage. Ryan Bader just defeated Rampage. So what do you think of Ryan Bader, and how do you feel pressure-wise, you know, getting a win here and proving you're still top 5 in the world?
Lyoto, como é que você está sentindo a pressão entrando nessa luta? Você está 1-3 nas últimas 4 lutas. Você está enfrentando um cara que já enfrentou vários outros que você também já lutou. Como é que é a pressão entrando nessa luta?
Eu acho que o treinamento ele fala por si só, né? O treinamento é muito bom, então, logicamente, sempre tem pressão. Né? Qualquer situação que você esteja, sempre existe a pressão. Mas eu estou muito tranquilo. Eu sei que o Ryan Bader é um grande lutador. E eu vou lutar com ele realmente como se fosse lutando com o cinturão. Dando o meu melhor.
I believe that the training speaks for itself, and I'm very relaxed going into this fight. I know that Ryan Bader is a very tough opponent, but my training was great, and I feel very good going into this fight. There's always a little bit of pressure, but I feel great going into the fight.
Thank you very much.
As a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1. We'll take our next question from Bobby Keegan from MMA NYTT.
Hi, this question is for Dana White. The fight between Phil Davis and Wagner Prada, where would you put Phil Davis after that fight if he wins that fight? And can you tell the rest of the people here who is Wagner Prada?
Yeah, this is a tough fight for Phil. You know, it's funny. I was talking about this earlier. How far down the card this thing is. It's one of the main cards. But Phil Davis, he's 9-1, going out up against Prado. This guy's 8-0. He's undefeated. I think this is going to be a good fight. But this is another win for Phil Davis. Another. There's been so many injuries and so many things, and so many people have been moved around. Phil Davis is a guy that I think has a lot of potential. He's finally got a couple of big fights under his belt and got some experience, and another win puts him in a real good position. And obviously, it speaks for itself what happens if Prado beats Davis.
Gotcha. And the injury between Matt Mitrione and Rob Broughton, and also Travis Brown versus Ben Rothwell, you guys couldn't match Matt Mitrione or Travis Brown? Have to pull both of them out?
Yeah, Mitrione, we called him. He jumped in the gym, tried to figure out what kind of shape he was in, and he didn't feel he was in good enough shape to take the fight. We tried to make that. Believe me, when I tell you we tried to make we tried to save that fight, but we couldn't.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Brett Okamoto with ESPN.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time. Dana, just a real quick question for you. Obviously, we got to find out what happens between Jon Jones and Dan Henderson in September. But I'm just curious, have you ever had a conversation with Jon as far as how motivated would he be to kind of re-go through this gauntlet of 205ers and give all these guys rematches? Sometimes champions say they're not interested in it, and other guys say that they're very interested in it. Have you ever had that conversation with Jon?
Nope, I have not. The reality is when guys keep winning and you're the top guy and you keep beating people, you might see another guy coming your way that you already beat, but it is what it is. It's part of the business.
And then if I could ask Shogun and Brandon Vera, both of you guys have had a shot against Jon Jones. I know that this is looking ahead and you guys are focused on the fight, and we don't even know if Jon will beat Dan Henderson, but I'm just wondering how confident would each of you be going up and facing that guy again, and what would be different? Brandon, would you mind going first?
For sure I'm not looking past Shogun, man, at all. But the thought has crossed my mind. The very first time I fought Jon Jones, I just thought he was some young punk, and I didn't respect him at all. I didn't even train hard, and I didn't even pay him no mind. And the outcome showed itself, I got what I deserved for thinking the way I did. So if and when I do get a chance to fight Mr. Jones again, I promise I'll have my full and undivided attention.
Okay, thank you for that. And Shogun, would you mind answering?
Hoje eu estou focado no Vera 100% e eu sei que cinturão é consequência do meu trabalho, então meu foco hoje 100% é o Vera. E o que faria diferente com o Jon Jones, com certeza hoje eu teria muito mais luta para estudá-lo. Naquela época eu não tinha muito material para estudá-lo. E com certeza é uma coisa que eu faço com a minha equipe, esse estudo, então com certeza é uma coisa que eu ia fazer mais planejada.
Today, to be honest, I'm 100% focused in this fight of next Saturday against Brandon Vera. Is my goal right now, and then later we start to think about the future. And about Jon Jones, the huge difference right now is to have the opportunity to watch more fights, and we have more material to study about the guy. So it will be a task of work that I have with my team later. But right now, the main goal, the focus will be on next Saturday.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Freddie Sosa with FightHubTV.com.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, the question is for Dana. Dana, do you feel at all that with Brandon taking the fight, or I'm sorry, the winner of Brandon and Shogun taking the fight, that you're almost running out of opponents for Jon to face? And like someone previously asked, if Jon would actually even be motivated, is that all a concern going down the line?
Anderson Silva hasn't lost a fight since 2006, and what many would call probably one of the one of the divisions that isn't as deep as the 205 and some of the others. But every time you think there's no other people to compete, somebody pops up. We don't know what's going to happen on Saturday night. When you sit back and you say, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, Shogun fought the fight of the year last year. Look at the resume. Look at what this guy's been through. He's one of the greatest fighters of the last decade in mixed martial arts. And then Brandon Vera has this opportunity. This kid could bust out and be the guy everybody expected him to be a couple of years ago. You never know what's going to happen on Saturday. So it's hard to say, oh, God, is he going to get boring? Some crazy shit might go down on Saturday that might have John Jones going, oh, man, this fight's going to be tough.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
And as a reminder, it is star one to ask a question. We'll take our next question from Jack Bratcher with Pro MMA Now.
Hi, my question is for Ryan Bader. Hi, Ryan. I was curious, where do you feel you are in the title picture? And are you at all surprised that Brandon Vera is being put ahead of you in the pecking order for the title, especially considering you're coming off the win over Quinn?
No, if he goes out there and beats Shogun, then, he deserves it. But I think I'm getting right there. Defeating a guy like Rampage, who just fought for the title, and a guy like Lyoto, who just fought for the title, to go in there and beat those guys definitely would put you right up there in the mix, and so I'm just focused on this fight, and, everything else will take care of itself. I go out there and win and beat Lyoto.
Thanks, Ryan.
No problem.
We'll take our next question from Daniel Sotelo with TheExaminer.com.
Yeah, I have two questions. First question for Dana. With you having the two light heavyweight fights as the main event and co-main event, where does Alexander Gustafsson fit in the light heavyweight picture?
Yeah, he's ready for a big fight now too. Get him lined up with one of the top guys here soon, and we'll find out where he fits and where he fits.
Thank you, Dana. My other question's for Ryan Bader. Ryan, with you earlier mentioned Machida's very elusive. What's your plans of, you're a very seasoned wrestler. How do you plan on, attacking his elusiveness and trying to get him to the ground?
Well, I'm not going to come out and just tell you right here on this conference call with, everybody on, but, we've definitely got a good plan. Whereas in the past, I'd come out and would just kind of work with whoever was here and whatnot. But I changed a lot of things around after a couple losses. I got the coaching staff around me that I needed, and we're bringing guys in. We're bringing guys in to emulate, Machida, different stuff like that. So it's all been done in this training camp and in the gym. So, without giving anything away, we definitely have a good game plan to execute when we get out there, and I'm not necessarily just going in there looking for the takedown the whole time. So you'll just have to see on August 4th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Chris Connor with Cyberstation Radio.
Thanks, guys, for joining the conference call. First question is for Dana. Dana, we heard that Devin Cole was a possible replacement for Travis Brown. Can you tell us why that fight was turned down? Was it something on Devin Cole's end or on Fox's end?
Actually, Dana's had to bounce. He's filming The Ultimate Fighter right now, so he's just bowed out. So you can direct one of your questions to the fighters on the call, please.
No problem. The next question, though, is into Lyoto Machida. Lyoto, you started off fast in your career. You were, at one point, 16-0. A lot of people calling you the next big thing. How tough has it been the last couple of fights, just suffering sometimes very tough sort of last-second losses? And how are you planning to bounce back against Ryan Bader?
Lyoto, você começou sua carreira decolando com 16 vitórias seguidas e todo mundo falando que você era o próximo grande homem no UFC. Como é que tem sido esses últimos tempos com essas derrotas? Que mudou e como é que você vai voltar nessa luta?
É lógico que com a derrota a gente aprende bastante, né? E comigo não foi diferente, né? Eu acho que eu aprendi muito aí nessas últimas lutas aí que eu não tive o sucesso que eu gostaria. Mas assim, eu vou sempre buscando o meu treino, sempre treinando da forma que eu acho correto, para poder tentar surpreender, tentar mostrar uma grande luta.
Yeah, obviously we learn a lot from our losses, and I have learned a lot in the last few years and with these losses, but I'm always looking for the best training I can get and training as correctly as I think I can, and I want to come out there and surprise everyone and give a show.
All right, thanks. Good luck to everybody on Saturday.
Thanks, bud.
We'll take our next question from Steven Morocco with MMAJunkie.com.
A question for Lyoto. Was he aware prior to this call that Shogun versus Vera was for the number one title contender spot, or was it news to him as well?
Lyoto, você estava sabendo que essa luta do Shogun e a luta com Brandon Vera estava cogitada para ser o próximo a lutar com o John Jones?
Não, não estava sabendo. Estou sabendo agora na entrevista aí. Estou sabendo agora.
No, I wasn't aware. I just found out in this conference call.
How does he feel about the situation as it stands right now?
E o que você acha dessa situação?
Eu acho assim, né? Acho que o evento sempre tenta fazer a coisa mais certa, né? Então, se realmente sair realmente uma grande luta aí, eu acho que quem vencer aí pode disputar o cinturão realmente, né? Acho que o Shogun já foi campeão uma vez também. E o Brandon Vera é um cara aí que já lutou nas duas categorias, então assim, esperar para ver aí, né, o que o evento vai fazer, e se for oportunidade, tá bom, vai ser ótimo também.
Yeah, I think the UFC always positions himself correctly, and this fight could be a great fight this weekend, and Shogun was obviously a champion, and Brandon Vera's fought in two weight classes, is a great fighter as well, so this fight could be a great fight, and it could be deserving of a title shot.
What does he feel a win over Ryan Bader gets him in the division? Where does he feel it puts him in the division?
E onde que você acha que uma vitória sobre o Ryan Bader coloca você nessa divisão?
Eu acho que uma vitória nesse momento, eu acho que tudo pode acontecer, né? Então, eu acho que eu volto realmente a trilhar um caminho aí de, sei lá, futuramente lutar por um cinturão e tudo, mas isso não é uma coisa que eu esteja pensando realmente, né? Eu acho que eu estou muito focado nessa luta e não estou pensando no que pode acontecer depois, não.
You know, really anything can happen. You know, obviously I'm trying to train as hard as I can and go out there and put a good fight, and I'm trying to trace a way back to the title, but that's not really what I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on training hard and then going out there and doing a great fight.
And one last, if I could. I know you're focused on Ryan and beating Ryan, but does he want a rubber match with Shogun? I know his manager Ed mentioned to us this morning that he was, thought maybe like a rubber match at the end of like a tough Brazil coaching slot might be a good idea. I just wanted to get his thoughts on that.
E o que você acha de uma terceira luta com o Shogun? Tem uma entrevista que o Ed disse que vocês gostariam de lutar e fazer o TUF lá no Brasil. O que você acha disso?
Acho que seria uma grande oportunidade para a gente, né? Então, com certeza eu gostaria de enfrentar mais uma vez o Shogun. E eu acho que também da parte dele também não é diferente, né? A gente já se enfrentou duas vezes, aí tem uma para cada lado. E acho que mais uma luta ia fazer assim, a gente realmente saber realmente quem poderá lutar na frente, por quem poderá lutar por um cinturão. Acho que é uma grande oportunidade.
I think it would be a great opportunity for the both of us. You know, obviously I would love to face Shogun again, and I think he probably feels the same way. It's one victory to each of us right now as it stands, and I think it'd be a great idea, and it would definitely put us in a great position for a title contention.
Okay, thanks, Leo and Derek.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Freddie Sosa with FightHubTV.com.
Yeah, actually, my question was going to be for Dana, but the gentleman prior just asked my question, so I'll pass right now.
No further questions at this time. I'd like to turn the conference back over to Mr. Ant Evans for any additional or closing remarks.
Okay, guys, thanks very much for attending this call. Thanks to all the fighters and the translators. Reminder, UFC on Fox, 8 p.m. in the East, 5 p.m. in the West, this Saturday, live on Fox. Thanks very much.
And that concludes today's call. Thank you for your participation.